Welcome to the ACSA Campus Tour, where on Thursdays we take you to a part of the state to talk with a school administrator about the successes and challenges in their community during this COVID-19 pandemic. Joining us today is Lori Emmington, the principal from Vista del Lago High School in the Folsom-Cordova Unified School District. Lori, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Let me ask you about successes and challenges, because we are in the second half of the school year. What have been the successes and challenges for you and your team, and did you expect that?
None of this has been expected, none of the outcomes. I will say that some of our biggest challenges had to do with disruption to teaching and learning. I will say one thing about educators, we love tradition. We love to get into that habit of doing things a certain way. And the pandemic has certainly turned everything on its head. And so we've had to learn to do things differently. And I think we've done a really good job at doing that at Vista del Lago. Our teachers have really pared down those essential standards and learning targets to what they feel is most important. And they've learned some new strategies with technology that I know they will continue to use into when we come back into person. So I think they've proven to be really innovative in a time that has been very disruptive. And I've been impressed with that. I've also been impressed with how, as a team, they're working together more than ever. You would think with them not being all on campus together, they might have a hard time making those team decisions and collaborating like they normally do. But they tell me that it's actually better, and they've done a better job than ever because they've had to rely on each other to learn and to problem solve. So the very challenges that we faced has, I think, put us in a better position when we return back to campus.
Yeah, you're not the first one to say that, Lori. Let me ask you about your students, specifically your juniors and seniors, because this is that time of year where they are either thinking about applying or are applying or normally would be taking tests for the schools, for the universities, and even for any career institutions that they may be going to. How are you and your staff able to support those students in this distance learning environment?
And that is a tough question. I would say, we've had the SATs, PSATs and the SATs canceled twice now on us, and which has been tough. Luckily for us, CSUs and UCs are not using the SAT right now. We do have the state assessment coming up, which in the past juniors have used as English and math college entry requirements. And, I think we're a little nervous about that, but I think it's going to be okay. They have reduced those tests down to shorter assessments. And so I think our students will be okay in the long run. As far as getting word out about how to apply for colleges and how to navigate, especially for parents, how to navigate that world of getting those applications in. We have created a Google Classroom for our College and Career Center, which students can visit at any time. And counselors also have a Google Counseling Center. And so students can drop in and meet with their counselor. It's different because it's all online, but there's still an avenue for them to ask those questions. And so that, and then just pushing out information. I don't think I've ever communicated this much with families and teachers and students. And that has been the key, I think, to just trying to do what we would normally do if we were all in person.
Let me ask you about social emotional wellness, because we hear so much of that in education, specifically for students, but social emotional wellness is something for your entire school community, including your teachers and your staff as well. What have you done to be able to support social emotional wellness for your entire school community, but also best practices for how you have taken care of your own social emotional wellness?
And this is such a good question, because I think we get into education because we are caregivers and we want to take care of people. We want to nourish students and we want to build relationships. And that's been the most difficult part. I think one thing I have really stressed with my students and my staff and with my families is that we can only control what we can control. And we have to focus on that. The other thing for my staff and for my students is I say you have to surround yourself with a team or a tribe, those people who will help get you through what we're all going through right now. On campus, we have an advisory class that's by grade level. And so our students, we try and come up with as many activities and opportunities for our students to connect and feel connected to the school community. And we remind them that just because the school's closed the facility, the school isn't closed. We're still here. We're still reaching out to them. We're still connecting them. Seniors especially, they've lost so much in the last couple of years. They lost junior prom and they thought, that's okay, at least we'll have next year. Well, here we are next year, and now they've lost a lot of other senior activities. So just rethinking how we can make them feel connected and part of something bigger than simply their own experiences right now.
Lori Emmington, Principal, Vista del Lago High School in the Folsom-Cordova Unified School District. Lori, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Naj. It was nice to be here.
And thank you, folks, so much for joining us here on the ACSA Campus Tour. Remember, on Thursdays, we take you to another part of the state, talk with one of your fellow district administrators. That comes your way Thursdays here on the ACSA Campus Tour.